There's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice, right? You just decide.
What's happening, y'all? This is Valenz, and you are now tuned in to the journey of a soul, the next evolution. Here's a recap of my first TMA Fanfare weekend. Check it out. Well, to be honest, I really didn't know what to expect. Coming into that weekend, this was my first fanfare ever. And actually it was my first Tejano full set ever. So it was big, and I was excited, I was pumped. I had a lot of energy and things built up, coming from the weekend prior. So I didn't know what to expect, but I had good feelings and I had good vibes from folks that were asking me and letting me know on Facebook, telling me that they were excited to see the show, excited to meet me, and all that good stuff. So, you take me, who is just new to the game. I've had 3 singles out. I've had, people know the video, Cosas del Amor, and that was really it. And you got all these other legends that's been doing it for years, and that I got mad respect for. They've been doing this fanfare and other fiestas, all kinds of gigs, for since way back. So with me, being this young Latino guy, coming in with bright kicks, the shades, the tattoos, and just a different style. Again, I was just kind of curious on what the reception from the fans and what everybody was gonna, react, and how they were gonna react. You see, I always grew up with the belief that, if you really believe in something, and you have a dream to make something happen, anything is possible. Once you speak it, and once you put it into other people's hearts and share that vision with other people, it'll become infectious, and other people will see your dream, let alone yourself. Because if you don't believe it yourself, it won't happen. So the first morning of the breakfast of the fanfare, I sat down with my team before we all left the house. We said a prayer, and we left with good spirits, with good hearts. Team and I walk out onto Market Square, and remind you it's 7 a.m. It's still dark outside, and this is the breakfast. So there's cameras out there waiting. People are starting to recognize me, and this is before I actually sing my song. And I got to give a shout out to a guy, Felix Mendoza. He's the one who's been, operating and running the fanfare. This guy does a lot of work, and definitely want to, thank him and tell him I appreciate him. He came up to me before I sang my song, and he just said, Rick, I thank you. I really like what you're doing, and I'm gonna do everything I can in my power, just to get you some exposure and get you out there and spread your name. I believe in what you're doing. I like the young, fresh feel, and for me, it was good to hear that from the person that's running, this fiesta, this fanfare, and it was just good to feel the support. So that was a good thing. Thank you, Felix. Appreciate that. So after I sing my first song in the morning, it was a good feeling because I had my first rounds of fans coming up wanting to take pictures and sign autographs and buy some CDs. And that was good. That was a good start. It was a good feeling. Had some good interaction. I did some interviews with some news channels, and it was just a good start. Alright, one of my biggest motivations is my fans, and I'm probably smiling when I say this because it is. It's one of my greatest pleasures to be able to interact and just get good feedback and smiles and hugs and all the good stuff that happens during meet and greets. And this one right here is actually my first meet and greet of the weekend, and it went really well. You know, there was actually one of the greatest things that I got out of it were, you know, a lot of the grandparents and the fathers, and you know, whether it's the uncles or the aunts that brought their little ones up. And you know, some of the little girls or little boys, you know, they had their little shades on, or they had their kicks, and you know, it was just cool to see, and it was good to be able to interact with the folks that actually brought their kids up, because some of them actually shared with me, you know, their appreciation for me doing what I do and being able to reach out to the younger generation, which is a really good feeling and a really good thing for the Tejano music in general. So, you know, I just feel if we're able to reach out and connect with certain individuals that might not necessarily listen to Tejano music, I think that's, you know, very, very good for the industry. You know, because there's a younger generation out there that, you know, isn't really listening to Tejano music. You know, we're losing some fans to reggaeton, bachata, even rap, hip hop, MTV, BET, all that stuff. And you know, some of the appreciation that I'm getting from the fans is that, you know, I'm giving them something that they can connect to and relate to, which I think is, you know, obviously critical in getting the younger generation involved. So, you know, I just want to, you know, thank everybody that came up to me for the first day, the first meet and greet. It was nice to reconnect with some of you fans that reach out to me on Facebook. It was great taking pictures, and again, you know, the smiles and the hugs and just the words and the encouragement, it's priceless, man. So, thank you. All right, now following the meet and greet, you know, obviously my team and I went around and enjoyed some food, enjoyed some of the music, you know, and was able just to catch a glimpse of, you know, what fanfare is all about. So it's obviously showtime coming up, and the anticipation is growing. You know, obviously my heart's starting to pump a little bit. I got people asking me, are you nervous? And you know, it was just a good feeling because of all of our hard work, everything we put our heart and soul into everything and getting this prepared, you know, for this show. You know, it was all starting to formulate and come together, and it was just great to see, you know, the whole build up and see everything just, you know, kind of build up to climax. You know, we were all backstage, and you know, I just want to thank all of the artists, all of the musicians that were involved. You know, it was just a really good feeling to see the support. You know, to Cacy, Savala, to Miguel, Hernandez, to Mario O, to Rueben, Herrera, to Javier, Sandoval, you know, and Eddie Cordova. You know, man, I love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys coming through for me this first show. It was just great, you know. Leading up, you know, obviously the fans were out there, they were smiling and waiting and just, you know, getting excited for the first show. So coming into the first show, the energy was good. All the musicians were ready. Everybody was asking me if I was ready. It was just a good feeling to see, you know, everybody come together, all the hard work pan out, taking into consideration that the band only rehearsed one time before the weekend. You know, being the professionals that they are, everything came together really well just in that one practice. So I felt good. You know, the band started, the beat came in. You know, I gave my team some dap, hugs, said a little prayer, walked on stage, and you know, let it happen.
Are you guys ready for some more Tejano music? Make some noise out there. Damas y caballeros, amigos y amantes de la música. Originally from Lansing, Michigan, now from here from the Alamo City. Let's give it up, Ricky Valenz!
Hace mucho tiempo que Martín me está muriendo. Furanita linda, todavía no te lo dije. Hace mucho tiempo que Martín me está muriendo. Furanita linda, todavía no te lo dije.
It was a good feeling. I saw a lot of friends, a lot of fans, a lot of family, you know, in the crowd, cheering, putting their hands up, dancing. You know, Alex Perez, I saw you out there. lot of other people. If I don't mention your name, I'm sorry, but it was a good feeling. I did my first song. We knocked out the second one. We got to the duet with Cacy. That went really well. Got a lot of good feedback for that. So thank you, Cacy, for showing up and obviously making your presence on stage. It was really well. It was really fun to do that. So another thing, we got to the last song, which was Cosas del Amor, and it's kind of a funny story. And it's a great first experience and just something good to kind of go through and learn and build from. But you know, I know some of you may not notice it right off, you know, right from the start, but sometimes playing live and with less practice, sometimes the key of the song can be changed on the spot. And with this being my first performance, it's kind of funny that it happened, you know, the very first time and the very first day. So I start singing the song, and the song is actually played, I believe, 2 notes higher than what it originally is. So I'm in my mind kind of trying to figure out, you know, what key it's in, because I never sang in this key before. So, you know, by the time I get it, you know, it comes in, and you know, it's super high. So Cacy kind of picks up on it, and I thank Cacy for that. She picked up right on. She picked it right up, and then started singing, and I kind of sung the low note right behind her, and we made it work. It just goes to show, you know, sometimes things like that happen, and as long as, you know, everybody plays through it and works through it, you know, and just stays professional, you know, it can work out. So it was a great learning experience for my first day, and you know, could have went either way, but we stuck through it, and you know, obviously the fans still gave me a good response and showed me love afterwards. So it was a good day.